turned 53 yesterday. Today my daughter turns 23. As I look around the country, I can't help but notice how different it feels compared to when I was her age. But despite all the changes, my love for this nation remains as strong as when I first enlisted in the Army when I was only a junior in high school. That same love was with me when I returned from the Gulf War, still not even old enough to legally drink. It's a love rooted in the Constitution, a document I swore an oath to protect and defend against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I believe that you, like me, understand that we are the people. We are the guardians of freedom. We are the branch of government from which all power derives. Over the coming months, I'm asking you to please join me in remembering what binds us together as we the people. In our pursuit of a more perfect union, we consented to be governed. But that consent comes with responsibilities. We cannot afford to let this election be driven by party politics or allow the media to pit neighbor against neighbor. Instead, we must look at our neighbors and recognize the common ground we share. Every one of us wants to look at our children. We want to look them in the eye and tell them tomorrow will be better. I remember 23 years ago when my daughter was born. We were living in Concord, New Hampshire. While I was in law school, our home was this 100-year-old Sears kit house. We shared a driveway with one of our neighbors. And then on the other side, practically in our front yard, was another neighbor. I recall a conversation with the neighbor I shared a driveway with, who advised me, good fences make good neighbors. You should put up a fence. And it was good advice. The fence allowed us to respect each other's space, while still knowing we had a neighbor who would be there when we needed. It's by protecting each other's freedom that we secure our own. That's why we, the people, are the guardians of freedom. We are the last line of defense between our children growing up with the freedoms we enjoy or losing them altogether. Are you with me? Are you we the people? Are you a guardian of freedom? We may not always agree. I may not always like what you say, but I will defend your right to say it. It's because of the oath I took years ago and because I want to be a good neighbor that I created the website, areyouwethepeople.com. It's a platform where I could share these messages. I believe that just as important as re-electing President Trump is ensuring that we have him win by a significant margin, with as few of our neighbors marginalized in the process as possible. Our founding fathers never intended for us to be so divided by parties or for the power entrusted to our elected officials to be overshadowed by the military-industrial complex and a vast number of entrenched government workers. President Eisenhower warned of this as he left office.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will...
His words have proven true. It's gone on for too long. It's time for us to take our country back. The first step is re-electing President Trump. But even with that victory, there will still be a lot of work to do. We the people must reform the government. President Trump can lead, but he can't do it alone. This work will be a lot easier if we can avoid marginalizing anyone in the process. So even as we support President Trump, we must recognize our power and stand with him by joining him in this fight. We do this not just by electing him, but by reaffirming our power as we the people. President Trump will only serve 4 more years after the election. We the people need to start laying the groundwork now so that we don't lose the gains we'll make during those years. To fully believe in his victory, we must act as the guardians of freedom that the world will see us as then, now. So, I am asking you to understand the importance of this truth. We the people are the guardians of freedom. As guardians, we cannot afford to marginalize anyone because we are all one nation, endowed with the same inalienable rights that belong even to those entrenched in government even to those involved in the military-industrial complex, and to those who may not vote for President Trump. Even they are we the people, guardians of freedom. At areyouwethepeople.com, you'll find tools I've created to help us be the guardians of freedom that we are. These include t-shirts celebrating the spirit of unity we need, emblazoned messages inspired by the script used in the U.S. Constitution. You'll also find a draft of an amendment to the United States Constitution, one I've carefully crafted to modernize the legislative branch of government. This amendment draws upon the insights of many guardians of freedom who came before us. They're not my brilliant ideas. Its purpose is to ensure that government reflects the will and power of the people, amplifying the core message I share with you today. We the people are the guardians of freedom. Love you all.